Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are going to build an AI rulebook literally from the ground up. We're going to use a really detailed governance framework as our guide, and together we'll walk through the exact steps any organization can take to manage AI the right way, responsibly.
So let's be real. It feels like everybody is jumping into AI, right? But here's the catch. Our source material points out this is all happening so fast, a lot of it is happening without a plan. Your staff, your teams, they're going to use whatever AI tools are out there, whether you have a policy or not. And that opens the door to huge risks for your data, your assets, and your reputation.
So what's the solution? Well, it's creating a crystal clear AI rulebook, and that is exactly what we're going to build together today. We're diving deep into Part B of the AI governance domain from our source text covering the absolute core elements: strategy, policy, and procedures. Let's get started with the big picture. All right, here's our blueprint for today. We're going to kick things off with the grand plan, your AI strategy. Then we'll see how to turn that vision into actual law by writing AI policies. After that, we'll make those laws truly actionable with day-to-day procedures. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the ethical compass that really has to guide every single step.
Okay, first things first. Every solid rulebook has to start somewhere, right? It needs that foundational chapter. And according to our source material, and just so you know where we are, we're in Part B, Section 1.6 now, that starting point is what's called the AI strategy. This is way more than just a mission statement. This is where you define your core vision and purpose for even using AI in the first place. This breakdown here, which is from Figure 1.11 in the text, is super helpful. It shows you that AI strategy isn't just one thing. It operates at all these different scales. You've got national strategies, industry-wide strategies. But for us, for building our rulebook, we're zooming in on that corporate level. We're focused on how to use strategy to find a real competitive edge and make sure every AI project lines up with our business goals.
Okay, so a huge part of your strategy boils down to this one core decision, which is laid out for us in Section 1.6.4. Are you going to build your own AI, or are you going to buy it? Building it yourself, yeah, you get total control, you can customize everything, but man, it is expensive and you're going to need new skills on your team. On the flip side, buying a solution is scalable, it's easy, but you could get locked in with a vendor and you have to be really careful about their data privacy. It's a classic trade-off, and there is no single right answer.
Okay, so we've got our strategy. Now what? Well, it's time to write the law. This is the next chapter of our rulebook, and we're pulling from sections 1.7 and 1.8 of our guide here. We're moving from the why to the what, creating the actual rules of engagement for AI in your organization. And the cornerstone of all this, according to Section 1.7, is something called the Acceptable Use Policy, or AUP. Think of this as your essential no-nonsense list of do's and don'ts. It isn't some complex legal document. It's a super clear guide that tells every single employee what is and what is not okay when using AI tools. It sets those expectations right from day one. But you know, a policy is pretty useless if it just collects dust on a server somewhere. That's why this roadmap from Figure 1.15 in our source material is so darn practical. For a policy to actually work, you've got to have your leadership bought in, it has to line up with your strategy, and it has to be communicated clearly. And this is key. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It's a living, breathing document that you have to constantly monitor and review. All right, a policy is a great start. But let's be honest. It's just words on a page until you have a how-to guide. And that brings us to Section 1.9 of our source material, AI procedures. This is where the rubber really meets the road, translating those big ideas into what people actually do every day. So these procedures, you might know them as standard operating procedures, or SOPs. They are literally the gears that make your whole governance machine actually work. They answer the critical questions. How exactly do we collect data? What are the precise steps for securing it? How do we sanitize it before we feed it into an AI? These are the things that make your high-level policy something real, something people can actually do. And now we come to what is arguably the most important part of the entire rulebook. I like to think of it as the ethical compass. We're digging into Section 1.10 now, and this is the foundation of everything. Without this, the rest is just a technical manual. You know, Section 1.10 really just nails it with this quote. It's making it super clear that ethics isn't some feature you bolt on at the end. No way. It has to be designed in, from the ground up, to be fair, transparent, and safe. That's not an add-on. It's the core requirement for building AI anyone can actually trust.
And this slide really breaks down what that means. These are the key ethical pillars we have to think about. We've got the big ones, of course, like bias and fairness, transparency, trust and safety. But look deeper. Responsible AI also means considering the impact on intellectual property, on human rights, and even the environmental cost of running these incredibly powerful systems. It's the whole picture.
So to tackle that first pillar, bias, which is a huge one, Section 1.102 points us to this fantastic framework from NIST. It helps us diagnose the problem by breaking bias down. Is it systemic, coming from how we've always done things? Is it computational, coming from bad data? Or, and this is the tough one, is it human bias, coming from our own blind spots? You can't fix it if you don't know where it's coming from.
So after all this, strategy, policies, procedures, ethics, what's the big takeaway? It's this. A good AI rulebook is not there to restrict you. It is not a cage, it's a launchpad. This whole framework doesn't slow you down. It gives you the guardrails you need to innovate with speed and, most importantly, with confidence.
And that brings us to the final critical question that I want to leave you with. As you think about your own company, your own team, look at your approach to AI. Is your rulebook a launchpad that's enabling responsible innovation, or is it a cage? That's the question we all need to answer as we navigate this new age of AI.